Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live. I'm going to wait for people to come in. And yeah, anybody here? It's the end of the challenge. And for those that made it to the end of the challenge, big congratulations. I'm very proud of you. I think you are an amazing person. And if you didn't make it to the end of the challenge, but made it halfway or at least tried, I am very impressed by your efforts. Trying it goes a long way. Me, I don't like the word trying. You either do or you do not, but at least giving your effort, getting off the couch and doing something, making a change in your daily behaviors, habits, routine is a great way to start any routine, well, any weight loss plan, such as intermittent fasting, such as working out, such as a new diet plan. So, for that, I congratulate you. You are lapping people that are sitting on the couch. I always say that you are lapping people sitting on the couch. I forgot to turn on my little lamp over there. But yeah, if you did make any progress, if you learned something about yourself during this alternate day fasting 2023 New Year challenge, let me know in the comments. I'll be interested to know what you learned about yourself, any weight loss you may have seen, any changes in your body. Have you taken pictures? Do you notice any slimming in the waist, any fat reduction? Is your jewelry fitting better? Are your belts going to the next hole? It's so many small wins that could happen in a month. And once again, I thank you for being a part of the challenge. If you were, don't forget to take advantage of the alternate day fasting group on Facebook. It's quite a place. Almost 9,000 members, y'all. Almost 9,000 members. And so many people are doing such amazing things in that group. If you're looking for a lot more, um, hi, hi, Nicole, welcome. I'm so proud of you. Um, I'm so proud of you. You have no idea. That's really awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, Nicole. And you're finishing up violin practice, Miriam, and then you're getting in the car. Okay, that's fine. You could always tune back in, but I love having my lives with you all. You lost 7 pounds, Nicole. Bravo. We love to see. Can I just like give you just I don't know, an emoji. I don't know what the emoji means, but that's wonderful. I lost 12 pounds my first ever month of alternate day fasting, and I haven't looked back, and it's treated me so well ever since. Fasting was the only thing, alternate day fasting was the only thing that worked for me because I tried two other methods of fasting, 16-8 and OMAD, and ADF just made sense for my life, for my results, for the progress I wanted, and for my like black and white mindset. Like it just worked and it worked. Like 60 pounds later, I'm a happier me. I love myself a lot more. I'm having a ball shopping, and it's just the start for you, Nicole. Like it's just the start. It's just the start for you, Miriam. Whoever else is going to join, it's just the start. All progress is an amazing progress. Whether it's 2 pounds, you're 2 pounds lighter than you were a month ago. Okay, we'll take it. At least you're not 2 pounds heavier. That's scary. So, once, yeah, we've wrapped up on that. The challenge was fun. I'm looking inside of the Facebook group, seeing so many before and afters, seeing so many people telling me what they've learned, seeing just progress, 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 progress. People are jumping on the scale, people are trying on old clothes. It's amazing to see. I'm so happy for you all. So today's topic is one that we touched on last week. We talked about binge eating on feast days. And this is a big deal because if you are not emotionally regulated, which means you're not finding a way to cope with your inner feelings in a healthy way, binge eating may occur. It's basically binge eating slash emotional eating. And they're almost one and the same. So we're going to touch on that tonight, and pretty much get into it. I've been waiting. It's 6 minutes after. Let's get into it. So, binge eating. Let's talk about what binge eating is and my experience with binge eating. Binge eating for me was a severe, it almost became a disorder. It wasn't a disorder all the way because for one to have a disorder you have to be formally diagnosed. To have a binge eating disorder you must be diagnosed. And but if you're not diagnosed and you know that you have the tendency to binge eat, you can say I have binge eating tendencies, all right? Um And if you already have binge eating tendencies, I found that alternate day fasting was a great regulator for me personally in curbing binge eating. What it did for me was it shrunk my stomach, it regulated my insulin, and it changed my mindset. And we'll go more into everything that binge eat alternate day fasting helps as far as binge eating. But for me, and I always talk about it, alternate day fasting can really help those binge eaters. It helps with emotional eating and it helps with binge eating. So if you find yourself binge eating, because a lot of people think that fasting leads to binge eating, it doesn't. You already have binge eating tendencies. Fasting does not incur binge eating because you would have binged regardless. It's just now that you're associating with the deprivation on fast day, now with a reason to binge. And binge eating, no matter if you're fasting or not, is not a healthy mindset. Binging is a mindset. Binge eating is a mindset because you're not physically hungry. It has nothing to do with hunger. It has everything to do with your mind and what it thinks it's missing and is trying to make up for in the form of food and eating and comfort. Okay? Um, so let's talk about, I have some notes here I'm going to be referring to back and forth. So after suppressing your hunger and your desire to eat, it is easy to succumb to binge eating when the clock finally permits you to start eating during your alternate day fast day. Most people feel very excited to eat, and some feel as if it's a free for all since they've been depriving themselves. Okay, so I got that definition from a website, right? Depriving yourself. We want to switch the wording. When we think of deprivation, we think of lack. Today is my fast day. I cannot eat. If you have the I cannot eat mindset on fast day, you will feel deprived. If you go into fast day with the mindset of I choose not to. Because, of course, you can eat. You have a fridge, you have fast food, you have money, you have all the access to food. You're not a prisoner or of war, or you're not a refugee, you're not a slave in some dungeon. You have access to eat. When you go into fast day, the mindset you almost have to have is not even almost, you need to have the mindset of, I choose not to eat today. I am giving my body a break. I am giving my digestive system a break. I am giving my body time to heal. Fast days should not be punishment. And I talked about this last week. Fast days are not punishment. Okay. And that goes into the self sabotage mindset. You're not punishing yourself. You're giving your body a chance to do what it's meant to do, which is take care of other things. It doesn't have time to be processing and extracting and absorbing nutrients from whatever junk food you're eating all day. It's not supposed to happen like that. Your body has other things to do, other processes to take care of. And what you need to do is give the body a chance to do so. Hi, let me thank you for joining us. Happy to see you. Um, Talking about binge eating and why we do so on feast days. Give your body a chance to catch up. And sometimes I find that on my feast mornings, like after a fast day, on my feast mornings, I have the best bowel movements. TMI, I know. I have the best bowel movements. You know why? Because my body had a chance to just rest, relax, and do what it needed to do. Best bowel movements. I feel light and ready for the day. All right. So, what is binge eating? Binge eating is not the same. Binge eating is different than eating too much during a vacation or on the holidays or on, a special occasion day. That's not binge eating. Feeling stuffed isn't binge eating. Feeling really full isn't binge eating. Hold on, I'm going to come back to you, Mary. I'm going to read your comment. That's not the same. Binge eating is a problem. People with binge eating regularly, okay? Regularly, often eat much more food than most people. And they often eat quickly. They eat when they're stressed or upset instead of when they're hungry. They eat according to emotion instead of physical cues. And they feel, here's the important part of what binge eating is, they feel like they can't stop eating even when they're uncomfortably full. So you're eating past fullness. You're eating past stuffed. You're eating until you pop. You're eating until you literally cannot eat anymore. And that is a frightening feeling. Here's binge eating is a feeling of being not in control of yourself. You almost feel possessed in a binge eating episode. And mind you, I can't say disorder because I am not a medically trained professional. I have no licenses. I have no degrees or certificates to diagnose anyone. It is binge eating tendencies, I'll call it. But if you feel like you have binge eating disorder, it's important to go to your doctor or a psychiatrist or psychologist to get diagnosed with a disorder. And then they could help you from there. You could actually get help. You don't have to suffer with any disorders nowadays. You can control your life. But having these binge episodes, you feel out of control. You are not in control of your hunger, your appetite, your food. You have not. Everything is just a whirlwind, and it happens really fast, very quickly, and very like randomly. It could happen in a day, it could happen through a week. It just comes on. And it's actually kind of scary because you cannot stop. You're trying to fill a void that the food just cannot hit. It will not hit this void that you're trying to overcome and quell. The food will never be enough in a binge episode because it cannot fill whatever hole you're trying to use the food to fill. Um, Binges also at least once a week for months at a time, several months. So if these episodes occur at least once a week over a period of several months, it is important to start looking into help. Start talking to your doctor about it. Start getting mental help for it because it truly is a disorder. This is disordered thinking about eating and how you're treating your body. It's truly disordered. I will say that. That much I can say. So please, if you feel like you have any type of disordered stress eating where you feel out of control, I urge you to seek help, okay? I know a lot of people don't have that extreme binge tendency, but if you feel like you have a disorder, please seek help. Binge eating is often a mixed up way of dealing with or avoiding difficult emotions. So, the biggest thing, and on that note, the biggest thing that I've always, always preached to you since day one of my weight loss my introduction to weight loss on YouTube, is how weight loss is not diet and exercise. I don't care what anybody says. Of course, it comes down to the mathematics: eat less, work out more, create a deficit. We know. But ultimately, weight loss is a mindset. Weight loss is a mindset. And when you take away food on a fast day, right? When you take away food on a fast day, you are left with yourself. It's just you now. There's no sweet snack to run to when you're feeling stressed. There's no macaroni and cheese to run to when you're feeling down. There's no popcorn to eat with your nightly news. You're just left with yourself. And a lot of people don't like themselves. And not to say that if you are overeater, you don't like yourself. That's not what I'm saying. But if you treat your body in such a way where you don't care what you do to it, you don't care what you put in it, you don't care how it looks, you don't care how it's treated, you don't care about your health, there's a lack of self-love there. There's a lack of self-love there. And liking yourself is very important before you start the process of losing weight, because ultimately you will sabotage yourself. You will sabotage yourself because you feel in your brain you don't deserve to look good, feel good, be treated well, live well. You ultimately don't feel like you're worth it if you're lacking that self-love. So the mindset, you're just left with yourself. You're left with yourself when you take away all the food on fast day. And that's what I love. I love that the most. The day I realized that journaling helps with my appetite, with my emotional regulation, we'll say that. The day I found out journaling my feelings onto a couple pages of my notebook took away my my hunger, because I wasn't hungry. I was just sad. but I didn't know the difference at that time. That's frightening that you don't know the difference. I don't know if I'm hungry or I'm sad. A lot of people don't know that they're feeling an emotion and confusing it with hunger. A lot of people don't even know they're thirsty and confusing it with hunger. Grab a cup of water and then you can have the food. Because sometimes you're really just thirsty. You won't even need it anymore. But a lot of binge eating is tied to emotional eating. And when we're able to realize how we feel on fast days, because the food is gone now you're fighting demons. A lot of times, fast days are so hard because you're left with yourself, and it's scary. A lot of people can't be alone. A lot of people are in monkey bar relationships. A lot of people can't travel alone, don't want to know themselves, don't want to look in the mirror. And it's up to you to increase self awareness. What are you running from? What are you trying to hide? What don't you want to, attack as far as traumas and realizations about yourself? Why are you running from it instead of running to it and trying to kill it at the roots? There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be aware enough to realize. Okay, so binge eating and emotions really go hand in hand. Binge eating and emotions usually go hand in hand, and a lot of binge eaters are really not happy with themselves. They don't like themselves. They don't forget love. They don't even like themselves. All right. So if you're feeling like you're binging, you're self sabotaging, you can't get a hold of your emotions or your eating patterns, it's really time to get serious about your mental health. The most free and easy way to start is start journaling. I have a video on journaling for weight loss. I find it one of my best videos because it's so powerful, but people overlook it because that requires insight. And people hate looking at themselves. A lot of people hate looking at themselves. It's hard to change who you are. I've been this way for so long. Why I gotta change? F that. I get it. I get it. But as long as you know, you're on your way to healing. So why are we doing this? Why are we binge eating on feast days? Here's some likely reasons why. A combination of things, including genetics. It can be passed down. If you had a mom that binge ate, you likely could binge eat as well because it's not necessarily in your DNA. It's more like a familial habit, almost like a generational curse. So if your mom was a single mom, it's more than likely you'll be a single mom because this is just a way you've grown up seeing it. It's not to dictate your future, but it's more likely to just because of familial habits. If you diabetes runs in your family, it's likely you'll have diabetes, not because it's wired into your DNA, but because of the habits, um, emotions, eating behaviors, skipping meals. Okay. Skipping meals is a likely way to binge eat. That includes if you're fasting or not fasting. Okay. Because you're just having this brain of, I didn't eat, I need to make up for it. And I'm going to go all out. Some people use food as a way to soothe themselves or to cope with difficult feelings. People with binge eating disorder are more likely to have other mental health problems, such as depression, anxiety, PTSD, and ADHD. Now, on that note, I'm going to tell you about me, right? In January, maybe May, in January of 2021 or like December of 2020, I was at my heaviest. That was around like 252. My heaviest was like 250s, 252, low 250s. And I was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not funny, but it was like, it was reality. I was having stress, my hair was falling out, I was sad, and my doctor was becoming concerned. I had inflammation in my knees and my ankle. And I went to my doctor and I told her, I just eat a lot. I don't know why. I just eat a lot. I eat a lot. And my my doctor, she was like an older millennial. So I feel like older doctors are, kind of do it the old school way, but because my doctor was around my age range, she was like, "Huh, we could give you a prescription for that." And I was like diet pills? She was like, "No, it sounds like you might have binge eating disorder. I'll give you some pills." When I tell you, I swallowed so hard. I was like, "Oh, okay." She prescribed me Vyvanse, and Vyvanse is a prescription for binge eating disorder. Okay. I wasn't formally diagnosed by any psychiatrist, but my doctor, my physician, had prescribed me Vyvanse. Now, here's the thing about Vyvanse. Vyvanse can either be used for binge eating disorder or those with ADHD. Huh. How are those two remotely linked? Because it's a mental issue. Okay? So I've always felt, not always, but within the last 3 years, I felt like I had undiagnosed ADHD. I felt that because a lot of people feel like ADHD is only for little boys. It's not. Little girls have ADHD. And you know what little boys and little girls grow up to be that have ADHD? They grow up to be adults with ADHD. But a lot of times women, girls don't get diagnosed. They call them precocious or curious, talkative, bright but unfocused, has the world at the palm of their hands, but can't seem to quite put the effort in. Those are That's what I've heard all my life. Colleen is so bright, but she won't stop talking. Colleen has the potential to just be an amazing student, but she won't focus. And then I turned into an adult that can't, that has a hard time running a household, that has the worst time paying her bills, that drives and has to like really focus because it's so easy to just drive from point A to B and not remember the drive. I lose my keys all the time. I I'm just a little scatterbrained. It's hard for me to run a business because of all the fine details. I'm a large picture person. It's hard for me to plan. If any of this sounds familiar to you in your life, growing up or now, ADHD is real. And the thing about ADHD is it's linked to binge eating. So when she prescribed me the pill Vyvanse, I was actually more excited to see how it worked for my undiagnosed ADHD than even the binge eating. Because I didn't feel like I had binge eating, but because of the ADHD, I would unfocusedly, incessantly eat. And I had been taking Vyvanse since then, maybe like 5 days a week. And it helped so much with my focus, but it also reduced my appetite, because what Vyvanse does is it provides a stimulant. Those with ADHD are lacking in a stimulant. So for an unofficial test, if you drink coffee and get jittery, you're normal. If you drink coffee and you feel like you could focus, you might have ADHD. And that was me. I used to drink coffee and I was like, yes, now I could calm the hell down. Because those with ADHD are lacking a stimulant. That's why they always need to be going. And I only learned about this because my son is on the spectrum and he has ADHD qualities. He's not formally diagnosed, but I learned about it through him, and ADHD is hereditary. All this to say is binge eating can be linked to mental health disorders. So if you have previously suffered from depression, anxiety, PTSD, ADHD, schizophrenia, bipolar, those are real disorders, and it can and may lead you to binge eating. So if you're beating yourself up over binge eating, are you really checking in with your mental health? It, as I said, has little bit to do with diet and exercise, everything to do with your mental. Where's your mindset? What's your mental capacity? Are you checking in with yourself? Are you even able to do something like this with your mindset, with your mental health? Because you could just be damaging yourself and you don't even know. I went into it knowing who I am, what I am not, and I moved accordingly. Don't beat yourself up if you know you're not all the way there. Okay? Binge eating is not only going to lead to weight gain, it's also unhealthy for your body's digestive system. So you're doing way more harm than you think you're doing by just having a full stomach. You're taxing your digestive system. And it can lead to heart problems because all of a sudden your body has to do a lot in a little bit of time. Binge eating involves overeating very quickly, eating in excess, and you should not ignore it. All right? So let's talk about um, Miriam, let me read your. I was diagnosed with binge eating disorder, and fasting has been a godsend. Very good for you. I'm very happy that you were diagnosed. Physically, it helped curb hunger because my stomach is smaller and because I can technically eat whatever I want on my feast day. I love that part too. I just felt free on my feast days, but I didn't feel like a free for all, if that made sense. Like I could eat what I want, but I had control. If I wanted the ice cream, I could have the ice cream, but I didn't need the entire tub. And it's probably worth more than the weight loss itself. Having control. When you have control over what you eat and how you eat after having none for so long, it is the most liberating feeling. You almost feel like you mastered something. And that's why I said, if you are struggling with fasting, keep trying. Shorten your window. You don't have to go as long, but exercise that muscle, because willpower is a muscle and it must be exercised. If you just give in, if you just stop at 10 and you know you can go to 11, 12, 13, 14 in a squat, why wouldn't you do so? You're not going to grow if you don't go to 11. You're not going to grow if you don't go to 12. If you keep stopping at 10, keep going. Keep trying. Make it a minute longer, another 2 minutes, another 5 minutes. It's a beautiful thing to stretch yourself a little bit because a comfort zone, you never grow in a comfort zone. It never happens. Um, so let's talk about fixing it. How are we going to fix binge eating on a feast day? Okay. First off, first, I want to, oh my God, where'd my chat go? Okay, there it is. First, I want to tell you to not beat yourself up. I want you to not beat yourself up. There's enough going on in the world. There's enough naysayers. There's enough going against you. All right. You don't have to be an enemy in that as well. You don't have to be your own enemy. Give yourself the beautiful, gracious gift of grace. Grace is that flexibility to tell yourself sorry and to try again. Grace, being gracious. Having a moment to say, okay, I did that. It wasn't great. I'm a little disappointed. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to even be mad. Darn, why did I eat all that? Wasn't good. You could take that moment, correct, and try again the next meal. You don't even have to wait till the next day. Don't make the day a whole waste. You can try again the next meal. Like, okay, I'm gonna calm down. I went all out. I'm gonna calm down. Start again the next meal because you only have to till the next meal and then it's fast day again. Um, and then try to do better your next feast day. Okay. Learn from your mistakes. When you give yourself grace, when you mess up, it's not to say, okay, well, that's just me. That's what, no. You give yourself the time to learn from this day and correct it for the next time. But you can't beat yourself up. I don't want you to beat yourself up. This is not a bashment. Okay? Give yourself a moment to recollect yourself and try again the next feast day. Another way to fix binge eating on feast day, you need to start changing the mindset, and here's how. Intermittent fasting is essentially about willpower. We're exercising this muscle called willpower on any diet, on any fasting regimen, protocol, pattern, on any exercise program. You're going to use willpower. Every day you use willpower. Every day. Because if you just gave in to all of your whims, you would be gluttonous. It would be gluttonous. You have to tell yourself, stop. We use willpower some way, shape, or form every day. But intermittent fasting is essentially about willpower. Can your physical beat your mental and vice versa? You need a radical mindset shift to make this eating program successful for you. Because it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. So you have to learn. You have to learn. If you're going to do this for the long haul, you have to learn from these patterns. The fast day is to recorrect your eating cues, how to eat more intuitively, how to eat until you're full and stop, until you're satisfied, how to eat properly on feast days. All of this, it's not just a destination. There's a journey. You can't just start and reach the end and not learn anything. All this in between it, you better be learning something. And every day, whether it's a feast day or a fast day, is a time to learn something new about yourself. So you better take the time and understand who you are on these days, because each one is crucial. Every one of those days, feast and fast, is a step towards a better you, a step towards that goal number, that dress size, that pant size, that reunion date, that vacation. Every day is a step towards better. Don't waste them. I don't want you to think of your eating window as a license to eat whatever the hell you want. It's not. Your your window is a time to refuel. I like to use the word refuel. You are putting premium gas back into your luxury vehicle, because you are a luxury vehicle, okay? You're putting premium, high octane, number 93 gas into that Benz, Rolls Royce, Bentley of a body of yours, okay? Refuel properly. Don't jam it up with all kind of nonsense. And I want you to work on your lack mindset. Definitely feels like I'm at ADF University. I love that. Um, there's a big part of fasting I learned, and it is to release the lack mindset. And I've actually learned that for a number of things, not just eating, but I learned it from my ADF, and is to release the lack mindset. When I was doing true alternate day fasting, the biggest thing I used to say to myself is, I could eat it tomorrow. I can eat it tomorrow. I could eat it tomorrow. And this is on my fast day, right? And then feast day would roll around and I'd be like, I didn't want it that bad. And it's okay. When you have a lack mindset on your fast day, when feast day rolls around, you feel like you have to make up like you ain't never ate in 3, 4, 5 days. That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. I want you to enter your feast day as if it's a regular schmegular old day. A day where you're supposed to have a good amount of calories for your, I'll say your maintenance calories. I like to at least eat at maintenance calories on my feast days, never any lower. Okay. I don't want to hear about nobody having 1,800 calories, 2,000 calories on their feast days. At least, well, for me, as a 5'10" woman, I will be, I had at least 2,500 calories on my feast day, at least. And probably no more than 3,000, honestly. Honestly, that was me. No more than 3,000 calories. I had at least 2,500 calories. Okay. But you would have to calculate your maintenance calories and make sure you have at least your maintenance calories on feast days, because you want to refuel. Okay, let's continue because I'm running out of time. Um, but once again, I want you to pretend like it is a regular day. You're not coming from a fast, you're not preparing for a fast. It is just a day that's just regular. If you have the mentality that I'm coming from a fast, I got to make up for, I have the opportunity to do what, you're going to eat like a mad person. If you go into the feast day with the mentality that it is just a regular day, I can have what I want. Tell yourself you can have what you want. The more you tell yourself you can have what you want on feast day, the less likely you'll have a lack mindset. The less likely you are to feel deprived. Because if you think that I got to eat like nobody's business because tomorrow I can't, that word can't, that means you're going to overeat. You're going to overcompensate. You're going to ruin your results because in your brain, you're using that deprivation mindset, that lack mindset. You are welcome to anything in the fridge. You're welcome to whatever meats and fats and complex carbs you want. Enjoy. You are free to do so. Okay? The moment you see the day is winding down and you're like, "Oh no, I got to hurry up and eat." You're ruining it because now you're in the lack mindset. Think about that. Start removing the lack mindset, and you will feel free. You will feel a freedom on feast days. But it's important to make sure you get your calories in early throughout the day. Do not save them for the end of the day because pigging out at the end of the day is basically binging. Have a numerous amount of your calories at the beginning of the day. Wind it down and know that you are able to eat on your next feast day. Don't think about the fast day. That fast day is a rest day. I am going to eat. I can eat. I will eat abundantly on my next feast day. And it's a freedom. Even if you just say it to yourself, I can and will eat abundantly on my feast days. Okay. Another way to help fix binge eating on your feast days is to plan your meals. Plan your meals. This is crucial because you're only eating but so many times a week. That means you should be having high quality meals, well thought out meals, and you have time to plan these meals because you don't have to do it every single day. Now it's like, okay, I'll take this time to fast and plan what I'm going to have for breakfast, lunch, dinner. The more you plan, the more you set yourself up for success. Plan your meals. If you're thinking about having a wonderful omelet, do so. If you want to make sure you have a great big salad, do so. And schedule it. Schedule it for a week. Even if you don't have to meal prep, but at least say this is what my I want to eat on Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. At least have an idea of what you want to eat. And then move accordingly. If you know you're going to go to the supermarket, get the ingredients for that day and eat. Know what you're going to eat. If you're just winging it, you're going to eat poorly. You're probably not going to get nutrients in, and you're going to feel deprived because you haven't really calculated what your macronutrients are going to look like for the day, what your calories are going to look like for the day. Go ahead and plan on MyFitnessPal. You can put in what you think for the day you're going to eat and see if, hey, am I hitting my protein goals? Am I hitting my fats? Am I hitting my calorie needs? Make sure that you're getting in everything. Plan it, especially on your MyFitnessPal or any calorie calculator you may have. Very handy. Another note, start with small portions and then take seconds. Don't pile your plate the first round. I was super guilty of doing this. Piled my plate, sky high. T Totally hot, like, there's the plate and here's the rice. What is the matter with me? I love rice. Hashtag rice is life. 2 pieces of chicken and the whole heap of gravy and the whole half a bowl of vegetables, and guess what? I scarfed it down so dang fast that I went for seconds anyway. What I could have done is literally split that portion in half, had the first round, and by the time the second round rolled around, I was totally satisfied. But now I've tripled because I put this piled high plate first and then went back for seconds, no bueno. So just do a normal, even small portion first. And if you feel like you want more, go back for more. Go back for more. If you want more, eat until you're satisfied. But at least you started off small. So if you really do still feel hungry, okay, yeah, we have room for more. But if you have this massive plate and you're scarfing it down and then you go back for more, that seems like, oh, let me hurry up and get in everything before it's over. That's not necessary and it's not needed, because would you do that regularly? If you weren't fasting, would you have such a massive plate? Think about that. If you wouldn't do it if you weren't fasting, don't do it if you are, okay? Take your time eating. Binge eaters, those with binge eating tendencies, wolf down their food. That's me. I've always been a fast eater. Um, I don't know why. I feel like the food is running off the plate. People can't share food with me because I just like, and that goes back to like my ADHD. Like I kind of just do things mindlessly, but I need to do it while doing something else. Okay. So take your time, chew your food slowly, concisely. I know in this day and age, it's hard not to eat while watching something, but if you can, sit at the table and eat your food with no distractions, no books, no TV, no phone, no iPad. Just eat your food at the table, one bite at a time. Put down the fork, chew, pick it up again. All these little things, I know it sounds like, what? They make a big difference, because binge eaters, those with binge tendencies, have the tendency to scarf down their food real fast or real quick, head into the kitchen for more. Take your time, because the body takes about 10 to 15 minutes to realize it's even full. And if you're eating so fast before the body can send you that signal that, hey, I'm full, passed, you've already passed the threshold of fullness, and you're going into stuffness by the time the body can realize what you're doing to it. Take your time. Eat nutritiously. Calculate your macronutrient needs to see how much protein you need, how many fats you need, and focus on fiber-rich, slow digesting carbs that you'll need. I always say, please eat nutritiously on your feast days. There is a huge difference between a muffin for breakfast and a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast. There's a massive difference between a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast and an omelet for breakfast. Like, they just hit different, okay? So really focus on the protein. Protein number one, protein number one, protein number one. You should be having a protein with everything you eat, even if you choose to snack. If you choose to snack on your feast days, have protein. If you have an apple, eat it with peanut butter and or nuts. If you are having, if you went to the gym, have a protein shake. Get in your protein. I swear it'll make a difference. It'll make you satisfied. Enjoy fats. Fats are important. Fats keep you looking plump, healthy. It makes your skin glow, and fats are satisfying. Don't be afraid of the higher fat content meats. Don't get lean, okay? Don't get lean. Lean is overrated. Lean is overrated. Get you some high quality oils and or butters. If you enjoy avocado, guacamole, eat it. Eggs, wonderful protein, fat in one. Nuts, enjoy nuts. And fiber rich, slow digesting carbs. This includes oatmeal, brown rice, quinoa, bulgur, sweet potatoes. I know sweet potatoes are like hit or miss for some people, but honestly, potatoes, just a regular white potato, so one of the most satiating foods you can ever eat. Don't overlook a potato. Just because it's white, they're low calorie, they're low fat, They are super satisfying, full of fiber, full of potassium, higher potassium than a banana. Okay? Don't forget about the underrated potato. A good russet potato baked, you slap your nice cow-fed butter in there. Don't get me started. All right? And avoid junk food, avoid excessive sweet, avoid snacking. What this does, hikes up the insulin, raises the blood sugar, gives you cravings. You want to eat down the house. A rule of thumb for me, how you start the day is usually how your day is going to go. So if you start your day with sugar, you're going to just crave sugar throughout the day. And I've noticed this. If I have, say, I picked up a little pastry, I'm going to crave sweets throughout the day. It's over. So start wisely. When I have an omelet, which I've been loving omelets lately, I am satisfied for hours. Hours. And because I'm satisfied, I'm able to make another wise choice for lunch and another wise choice for dinner. How you start the day is how the day will treat you. You would have to do a lot of course correction if you mess up in the morning and need to get back on track, okay? Because that muffin will take you from, you can go this way, which is the right way, or that muffin could take you like fruit roll ups, you have a candy bar, all of a sudden you having pizza. Bad, 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 bad. Start your day with good quality foods. Avoid junk food, excessive sweets, and snacking. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. I know we're not drinking enough water. If you think you are, you're not. You are not. You're not drinking enough water. Have water. I know we're not drinking enough. I know I'm not drinking enough. I know you're not drinking enough. Drink more. It's never a bad thing. On your feast days, you need to be catching up on hydration because I know that I got you, baby. I'll see you next time. I know that when you are hydrated, you eat less because a lot of us confuse thirst and hunger, and it's a dangerous trap. Try to have some water before you eat. Give yourself time and then have your meal. And you'll feel just as satisfied as if you even ate two plates. Okay? Let me hurry up. And lastly, my tip to help fix binge eating on feast days, you have got to have sufficient sleep. You have to get sufficient sleep because what sufficient sleep does is it helps improve your self-control. If you are tired, you're going to be cranky. If you're cranky, you're going to be emotional. And if you're emotional, you're going to want food to quell those emotions because you're not emotionally regulating by journaling or speaking to a therapist or venting to your best friend or anything. You're just keeping it all inside and you're praying it'll release through some method, way, shape, or form. But instead, you're left to eat it away. Don't fall into the trap. Get quality sleep, 7+ hours or more. 7+ hours or more. And it's not easy. It's not easy. We're addicted to our phones. We're addicted to staying up at night. We have kids. We have busy lives. It's hard. But I want you to know that the more quality sleep, and I say quality because sleep is not just sleep. Sleep has different levels. The more quality the sleep, the better you'll be able to regulate your hormones and make better decisions throughout the day. And that's for everything, not just your food choices, but everything. You'll be a happier person. You'll be more grateful. You'll be more gracious to yourself and others. Having better quality sleep and a sufficient amount is life changing. Okay, so if you feel like you are binge eating on your feast days, hopefully these tips, these mindset hacks, tricks, and tips will help you course correct and do better. Do better. It's okay. You can replay anytime, Melissa. You have full access to all the lives. Um, but on that note, I am taking off. I'm going to do a poll for next week's topic and see where we're leaning and what you would like to see in the membership only um, community tab. Okay. I hope this helped any of you. And remember, you don't have to suffer. Let your physician know, let your therapist know, let your psychiatrist or psychologist know. You don't have to suffer with any kind of disorder or binge eating tendencies at all. There's help and there's options, okay? And on that note, I'm going to head to bed to get my quality sleep. I thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.